baby, I don't understand it. You're changing, I can't stand it. My heart can't take this damage.
What is going on, everybody? Thanks again for stopping by. I'm gonna skip the entire intro and just talk to you guys about the links that I have below. So I have some links to some pretty cool people down below. If you could just check them out. Some of their content is even better than mine, and I'm a big fan of their stuff, so I check it out too. I also have two links down there. One for a GoFundMe in case you guys want to just help me out while I'm going through school, and if you enjoy the content, I'd really appreciate it. If not, then I'm still going to be putting out the content. The other link is actually one if in case you are interested in joining Lambda School. They do have a program where once you graduate you get $250 and I get $250 for referring you. So it's just a referral program, and if you feel like joining it and you feel like I helped you make that decision, then by all means go ahead and click that and give it a shot. So moving on, what happened to me in project week? So project week, I did end up getting 3 stars, and it was awesome. I enjoyed it. There was a lot of pain and suffering for me on my end, and that's primarily because I decided not to go with a state management system. Now, when we decide whether or not to do that, we still have to get with our PMs, because our PMs are technically like our bosses, and so you can't just go off on your own and do whatever you want. You have to go get with your PM, and your PM can decide whether or not it's okay based on your performance the last week with that subject. Redux being a really complex subject that ends up hanging a lot of people up. I'll admit it got me hung up for a good while, and you know, I'm sitting here with the imposter syndrome, just not really knowing whether or not I'm like, how is everybody else understanding this? But I'm not. I'm just barely able to scrape by and pass this week. And so I decided not to use that. Now, when you're doing React and you have you don't have state management, what you end up doing a lot of the times is passing a lot of props to a lot of components just to grab state, and then end up having to pass that prop around even more. So you have this entire web of just props being passed all over the place. Even in a small application, that can be a problem. And so after I finished my project, I decided that, you know what, this is not the final thing that I want to show off to employers or anybody who I want to show it to later on down the line, if you know, if it ever comes down to that. And so I decided to take my own time and learn context over the weekend. And if you don't know, context is just a state management system that actually comes with React that's been upgraded and worked on for a while, kind of in the shadows. So you have Redux, which isn't really just for React. It can be used for even Angular and other programs or other frameworks and libraries. But context is specifically for React. So you don't really have to download anything. It already comes with it. You don't have to install any modules or any packages or anything like that. It's already in there. So because of the way Lambda School taught us, I was able to just go in there, go through the docs, watch some videos, and kind of pick it up and apply it. A lot of it already made sense to me because a lot of it coincided with terminology from Redux. So very simple. Just the boilerplating was a lot less, and a lot of it to me just made more sense. How I could use it made more sense to me as well. So I also decided to change the design because it was way too plain. And the first thing you generally see on a site is the design, and so I decided to use some Material UI because I'm not a UIX student. That's a whole nother class, respectively. So whole nother class, whole nother study. That's a whole nother monster right there. And so I decided to just take the easy route when it came to design and use Material UI. Now, Material UI can also be a little bit complex, but because of the way the school taught us, I was able to go into the code and change it however I like, theme it and everything. And so I'm still working on that. To me, it's one of those evolving monsters that as I learn things, like once I get through the backend portion, I want to build my own backend server for it and keep my own database for it. Add user authentication, like, you know, all this cool stuff that we're pretty much learning right now. I get to go back in there and add that. As of right now, it's using Lambda School server, and so I don't feel comfortable giving out that link to people, knowing that they can pretty much type in whatever they want into Lambda School server, and you know, you won't even know who it is. So yeah, because then they'll end up having to migrate the stuff to a whole different host and server, which can break a lot of other people's stuff down the line. So to me, that's an issue. So looking forward to the rest of it. I'll cover on a different video what we're learning this week and the previous week, and what we're going to be learning in the future. That way I don't make this video way too long. If you have any questions, comments, anything that you want to see or whatever, feel free to put that down. If you dislike the video, by all means just leave me some feedback down there. That way I know how to address it and how to move forward and be able to put some content that you guys absolutely want to see. I do plan on doing a day in the life video, even though it's very simple, because I kind of just sit here. A lot of times people don't understand the time schedule. They're confused as to whether or not you have to like actually be sitting here the entire time with your camera on and you have somebody staring at you the entire time. So it might make a lot of people uncomfortable. So I do plan on doing that probably tomorrow and just uploading it the next day or something like that. But again, let me know if there's anything specific that you guys want to see, and I'll do my best in putting that up. All right, see you guys next time.